Okay, this just happened to me a couple days ago.
What was it? Ooh, I can tell it pissed you off. You can't even speak.
It didn't piss me. It didn't piss me off so much as it's.
I was gonna say, bro.
This is super personal. All of a sudden, okay, so yesterday, no, 2 days, it was 2 days ago. 2 days ago. 2 days ago, I'm talking to one of my buddies, Bubba.
Yeah.
About like working out and exercise plan and all this other stuff. He ended up losing like 80 pounds on his own. So he wanted some advice. And, you know, even though I do not give free advice to people, because that's, you know,
you want to play?
You don't go to a doctor for a free diagnosis or free prescriptions for stuff. You know, you don't go to McDonald's for free food. But
some people try,
but for people that I'm super close to, like Bubba's my man.
Yeah.
And that dude is my Puerto Rican brother for life.
Puerto Rican brother.
So I'll do that for him. Everybody else, you want to play, you got to pay. So I'm talking to him, we're texting, and you know, I'm just giving him advice on stuff. And all of a sudden I'm on my phone, and on my phone, you know, like when you're texting with somebody or you're doing something else on your phone, whether you're online or whatever, if somebody sends you a text, you don't see the whole text, but you see like a little preview window that pops up on the top of it. So that's what happened. All of a sudden, a preview text pops up from my cousin who lives in New Jersey. She texts me a couple of times. So it wasn't, she's one of those texters like me. When I text, if I have something to say, I'm going to say it all in one text. You might get a book, you know, by me. But there's people out there who they'll text a line, send, another line, send, another line, send. And I mean, you know,
they text as their thoughts come in.
That's there, yeah. And that's fine. And that's what she did. All I saw your post. Did something happen to your mother, or something, or happened to your mother? Did she pass away? I'm so sorry to hear that.
What?
Exactly.
What the fuck?
I'm texting my buddy. I see that. I see mother. What happened? Passed away. Sorry to hear that. I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm getting sweaty right now. Even thinking about it. So I'm like, what the fuck? So and I text Bubba, or I go off of that. I look at her text, and it was like, hey, I saw your post that something happened with your mother. I hope she didn't pass away. I'm so sorry to hear about that. I'm like, what the fuck? My post? What does she mean, my post?
Yeah.
So I go on my Facebook, and I'm like, what post am I fucking is she talking about? Misconstruing. And then I'm looking, I'm like, nope, didn't mention anything about my mother or anything. So it wasn't me. It wasn't that. And then I end up, I'm thinking, all right, maybe it was my sister-in-law. But then I'm like, wait, my sister-in-law, if I could post something about my mom dying and then not tell me first?
Yeah.
I was like, that's fucked up. So I'm like, I go on her Facebook. I don't see anything. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm like, for a second there, everything like froze. Like I was in so much shock for like 5-10 seconds. I was like, and in my mind, I'm like, she dead? Did she die? What? And I didn't know about it? And what's it? And like, I'm like, and I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
So finally, I'm like, I gotta call my mom. So I get the number, I call, no answer. I start freaking out, crying. Like, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, you know what? Try her again. I called her again. All of a sudden, my mom answers. The first thing she says, hi, my son. No, I'm not dead. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, what's going on? And she's like, what? What do you mean? I'm like, what the fuck is going on? I go, I heard you died? You passed away? What's happening? And she's like, nothing's happening. She goes, you know, it's funny. She goes, a couple of people have asked me already that this week. I'm like, what? And she goes, yeah, you're not the first. I'm like, what? And then she's like, I'm fine, I'm good. And I'm like, God damn it, I'm crying and shit. And she's like, calm down. I'm like, don't tell me to calm down. And I'm fucking freaking out. And she's like, what happened? She goes, somebody told you I died? I go, yeah. She's like, who? And I told her, I was like, this is my cousin. She was like, how did where'd she hear that? I'm like, I don't know. I was like, I haven't talked to her yet. And it was funny because as I'm talking to my mom, my cousin calls me. And I'm talking to my mom, so I'm like, oh, I'm not fucking answering the phone at all yet.
Yeah.
And she leaves a voicemail, whatever. And then My mom is like, I'm fine. She was like, as a matter of fact, I went to the doctor yesterday and I have a clean bill of health and I'm good. She was like, the only thing is, you know, I got a problem with my left knee. And I'm like, oh, that's funny. Me, so do I. And she was like, yeah, she goes, the only thing that's wrong with me is that I have too much B12 in my system right now. And I'm like, okay, and that's not bad, but okay. Yeah. She goes, yeah, I'm fine. She's like, I'm gonna be around for a while. She's like, I'm falling apart. She was like, but I'm not dead or dying. I go, then why the fuck did you answer the phone? I'm not dead yet. She was like, She goes, because I don't talk to you so much. Now, mind you, she is the queen of fucking guilt trips.
Yeah.
All right, because of her, and I got raised on fucking guilt trips. Now nobody can give me a fucking guilt trip. Not CK, not anybody. Because when they try, you're like, when they try with the guilt trips, I'm like, that's not gonna work.
Yeah, I was raised on
I was raised on fucking guilt trips. My mom is the grand poobah of guilt trips,
man.
So my mom goes, she goes, see, that's what you get for not calling me. And I haven't talked to my mom in a few weeks. So she goes, I could have died and you wouldn't have even known. I go, Mom, now's not the time. And I'm like, she's like, just calm down. I'm fine. I'm like, thank God,
Si
good.
me llamara más, supiera.
Well,
I was gonna say, where did the whole thing come from?
As it turned out, I love my cousin to death. Okay, we grew up together. I love her to death. She's my first cousin. Fuck it, I love her to death. Okay, but Jesus fucking Christ. She lives in Jersey, big house, stay-at-home mom. You know, I look and she sends me a text, or I text her after I hang out with my mom. I was like, so my mom's okay. You just gave me a fucking heart attack. I was like, I just called her. She's fine. She texted me back. She was like, I'm so sorry. I'm an asshole. And I misconstrued something that I saw online. And I called her. She was like, I'm so sorry. Did I ruin your day? I was like, yes, of course you did. You told me my mom was dead. She's like, I'm so sorry. I go, what the fuck did you see? I was making a smoothie and I was watching my daughter and I was scrolling on Facebook, and on my timeline, I have a friend. His name is Eugene Wright. She goes, all I saw was Eugene. Then I saw the post, said something about his mom passing away, and he put a picture of his mom on the post of when she was younger. And I swear to God, this lady looks like your mom when she was younger. She was like, so all I saw was Eugene, dead mother. I saw the picture, looked like your mom. So I texted you right away because to offer my condolences, because I thought your mom died.
You want to do some research before you text some shit like that, bro.
Especially if you're watching your kid and making a smoothie.
Yes.
While you're going online, I go, yeah, listen, we all make mistakes. And but Jesus Christ,
do some research
before you go. You know, hey, is your mom dead? Because that's basically what it was. Is your mom dead? My God.
Bro,
my God,
I would have had the same fucking reaction.
Whoa.
Go to a couple people's pages first before you text the son of said mother.
She goes, after I sent you those texts, I looked and I was like, holy shit. I'm like, yep. Oh my God. But you know, we after that all that's said and done, then we talked and caught up, and
then you got an unnecessary guilt trip because of it.
From my mother.
Yes.
For not calling her in the last few weeks.
See?